Forget all the great romantic stories, because this is going to be the most romantic story in the most twisted and dark way possible. I know you've heard of serial killers, but have you heard of a serial killer couple? Raymond Martinez Fernandez and Martha Jule Beck were known as the Lonely Heart Killers and also the Honeymoon Killers in the 1940s. And today, I'm spilling all the beans about them. Get ready to dive into their dark and twisted murder spree and finally, how they were caught. Make sure you like this video in return for some amazingly wild stories behind every single day. This story is messed up, so proceed only if you have the stomach for it. Raymond Martinez Fernandez, born to Spanish parents, moved to Connecticut with his family in his childhood. In his teenage years itself, he married a young local woman, had 4 children with her, and abandoned her. Soon after, Fernandez joined the Spanish Merchant Navy and worked with the British intelligence services. On one of his ships, a steel hatch fell on his head and fractured his skull. So that's when I'm guessing everything started to go downhill. Coming to Martha Beck, she was born in Florida, and due to a glandular problem, she was overweight and underwent premature puberty. As a teen, she ran away from home and joined a traveling circus. After finishing school, she actually became an undertaker's assistant. And it's a job that is completely opposite of what it sounds like. As an undertaker's assistant, she had to prepare female bodies for burial. So I think this is the part it started going downhill for her. She did eventually switch jobs and also got married twice after this. She had 2 kids and got divorced. Beck was really having a tough time dealing with life as an unemployed and single mother of 2. She turned to romance magazines, novels, and movies as an escape. Looking for her Prince Charming, she placed a Lonely Hearts ad in 1947. And guess who answered? Our hero, Raymond Fernandez. Fernandez and Beck started meeting frequently and telling everyone that they are married. But Fernandez realized that she was poorer than she claimed in the ad and wanted nothing to do with her. He left her and went back to his place in New York, but Beck started threatening to kill herself if he didn't meet her. Beck went to him in New York with her 2 kids, but he said he doesn't want kids. So she sent them away to her mother. Despite all this, Beck was head over heels for Fernandez, and Fernandez wanted nothing to do with her. Fernandez tried telling her that he was a con artist and that his life was based off of ripping off women from Lonely Hearts clubs. But Beck supported him even in this and was ready to help him even with his little crimes. So Fernandez tried to lie, to leave, and do everything to leave Beck. But Beck was quite literally obsessed. Fernandez had to give in and get married to her. But soon after, they met another member, Myrtle Young of the Lonely Hearts Club, and decided to stay a trio, if you know what I mean. Beck eventually started getting so jealous that one day she forced the 3rd person to ingest a jar of hypnotic sedatives, put her on a bus, and sent her to a random destination. Unfortunately, Young suffered a brain hemorrhage on the way and died. But this became Fernandez and Beck's way of life. In 1949, they committed 3 murders for which they were later convicted. The first was when a woman, Janet Faye, was engaged to Fernandez and Beck caught them in bed together. Beck completely lost it and struck Faye's head with a hammer. The second murder was when they met Delphine Downing and started living together with Downing and her 2-year-old daughter. They drugged Downing when they were trying to get their way with her, and her 2-year-old daughter saw her mother's condition and began panicking and crying. Beck strangled the kid, and some versions claim that the kid died at this point, and some claim that the kid died after Beck tried to drown her a couple days later. Fernandez was worried that Downing would wake up and question them about their daughter, so he shot her. Why do these serial killers always have these insane solutions? It always makes things uglier. Fernandez and Beck confessed to the police. Yeah, I know, it's not the dramatic end you were hoping for. At the time they confessed, they were in Michigan, and Michigan had abolished the death penalty. So the state had expedited the case to New York, and they were charged with first-degree murder. But only one murder out of the possible 20 on their hands. Because only Janet Faye was murdered in New York. They did try the usual and predictable route of pleading insanity, but after a 44-day trial, they were found guilty. They were sent to the electric chair, but they actually had a weirdly sweet death. Fernandez told the doctors that he had sincere affection for Beck, but he never loved her. And Beck was told that he never loved her and was infected with syphilis. But 2 hours before the execution, Fernandez sent a message to Beck. And the message said, "I would like to yell to the world the love I feel for you." And both could then die happily. A happy ending was certainly not what they deserved, but well, it was on an electric chair, so how happy could the ending really have been? While we're on the topic of serial killers, do you know for which serial killer was the biggest manhunt in New York City's history? It was the Son of Sam killer. And this next video has all the juicy and hidden secrets you don't want to miss. Make sure you are subscribed to Behind the Date, where we uncover hidden and insane mind-blowing stories behind each day. See you later. I'm off to enjoy the story about the insane Son of Sam killer.